Okay, so mini sort of mini 4:23 a.m. video, just because my desk is a little too messy to set up for filming right now. But I got this for filming, which is a little sort of $10 eBay clamp-on light ring, which has, I can't remember how many white LEDs, but they are very nice, cool white LED. Looks a little warmer on camera than it does in person, with 3 settings. All 3 settings are actually controlled via pulse width modulation. You can actually hear the high frequency noise. And you can actually see it with the banding. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but it basically sounds like it's about to blow up. And it is excellent for giving like a really nice smooth lighting. Unfortunately, it doesn't clip onto my phone as I would like it to. But I basically got it for nice smooth downlighting, aside from the 2 LED lights that I'm going to use mainly. So I'm just hearing shit. Yeah, it doesn't fit on my phone properly, and if I try it, no, I can't even do it with the case on. So yeah, so I'm going to take this apart, basically, remove the hinge mechanism, and probably cut out this. And I believe all the control circuitry is in here, powered by just 2 AAA batteries. So once I have this open, I'll do another clip. But it's, yeah, $10, and it's a really nice, sort of smooth, just like sort of that height. A really nice, smooth lighting downward. That should improve the lighting quality in videos by a fair bit, and I'll have to rig up some sort of mounting thing on the mic stand that I have. So I'm gonna crack it open and update then. Not gonna try and take it apart with one hand. Okay, and so there was just 1 screw right there, which is going to the circuit board, which looks to be sort of like a boost converter, which would explain the high frequency noise. I'll try to... I'm not even sure if that thing has any numbers on it. Doesn't look like it. I could probably try and reverse engineer this, but that doesn't interest me massively. And it's probably fairly obvious to anyone who is not as tired or knows just a bit more about that sort of thing. I haven't measured what the actual voltage it's driving the LEDs at is yet. I'll do that once I crack open the other side and can measure on them. But yeah, it looks like I will have to keep this in there. It's not just driving a whole bunch of them in series. So it might actually have, groups of series. So it might actually have fairly good battery life. I'm curious to see if it's just driving them all with sort of brunt force. And sort of, I might see how much current it draws with an external power supply. Okay, so this is interesting. It appears to be driving it just with DC, and so the dimmer setting is 2.4 volts, or 2.2 volts, the medium setting is 2.4 volts, and then the highest setting is 2.8 volts. So it's not bumping up the actual voltage at all. It just I'm not sure, it's slightly confusing me. Maybe it's because I'm tired and it should easily make sense, but it seems like it may just be sort of a sort of boost converter that just increases the available current. Let me check how much power it's actually drawing from the supply, which is the one that I sort of modified here, which is incredibly nasty. Okay, so for some reason, maybe it's just the impedance of the meter or something wrong with the meter itself. When I have it on just the amps scale, it shows it's drawing about 430 milliamps. However, when I have it on the milliamp scale, it's showing 119 milliamps. So I'm going to have to pop this on another power supply and actually see. And then I'm also going to desolder this connector and see sort of just how much, or just tap onto it and just see how much current it actually takes to drive this LED strip. This is more interesting than I thought it would be. Okay, so I have it here wired up to the power supply, and yeah, it's drawing tad over 400 milliamps, so it seems like the milliamp scale on my meter is wrong, or it's something to do with the impedance. Not entirely sure right now. So I guess I'll just sort of see what it takes to drive these LEDs directly. Okay, and so I have the LEDs here, basically just sort of hooked right onto the 3 volts or so, and it's drawing around 450 milliamps, so 40 milliamps or so. I didn't double check what the voltages on this power supply with a meter, just because I'm lazy and it's tired, or I'm tired. But yeah, 400, so like sort of 40 milliamps or so is lost to the control circuitry, at least going for this full brightness, which, I mean, this is good. I can power it directly from a battery, which means I can get rid of the circuitry. But I want to see how much current it's actually drawing on the different brightness settings, although with my meter being slightly inaccurate, that might be kind of difficult. I'm not sure. So yeah, this is just like possibly one set of LEDs in series. I'll see if I can crack it open just so you have another look. But no, if it was all LEDs in series, there's a a relatively large number of them in there. You can sort of see the individual points. So, I might try and crack the glue apart with a knife. I'm not sure. I don't want to destroy this thing too much because I do like it and it's nice and diffused and does make like a nice even light. But yeah, that's a bit perplexing. So it seems like maybe the circuitry is just there for the dimming. But I'm not quite sure why I'm hearing that high. Well, I guess it's using pulse width modulation to control the brightness, but it still just does that when it's on full brightness anyways. So it's not actually giving them the full current. It's not just bypassing the pulse width modulation circuitry. It's still doing that. But as you can see, it's a super nice even light, especially compared to like just the ambient lighting that thing does. I really like it, so I don't want to tear into it too much. Although we'll have to sort of cut that plastic out. So yeah, that's interesting. Slightly more, well, I guess not more complex than I thought. It's just a bit more interesting or stumbling me, just because I'm fucking tired. Who knows? Yeah, this video's gotten to the point where it's rambling. So yeah, pretty nice little product. You can power it right off a battery or a power supply, so it's not doing some sort of weird high frequency stuff. It could be a bunch of arrays of sort of 3 LEDs in there. If I take it apart, then pop in a little clip or maybe some pictures, and if not, that's the end of the video. So hope you sort of enjoyed it. I definitely recommend picking these up. I'll post an eBay link in the description if I remember to. Yeah, so, alright, slightly more than I was expecting, but hey, nice product nonetheless. Okay, so adding a bit on anyways, I don't want to take this off because it's glued on just so much that it's going to basically chowder it and ruin it. So I'm just going to keep it like this. I cut out a fair bit of material and sanded it down a decent amount to get like sort of a moderately nice edge. And this will basically just sort of have some sort of way of mounting it so that the camera just sits like that, and then you have nice even light around the camera, though I don't have it hooked up. And the nice thing is, since it's running just at like sort of the 2.8 to 3 volts, is that I can dim it really easily by changing the voltage, so that's quite nice. I'll think of something like more durable to hook up to it, and some way to sort of have it attached to the tripod permanently so that when I put the phone in, it's automatically in the right spot or something like that. Could use a better phone holder for the, well, not tripod, the arm thingy. But yeah, quite pleased with this. Well worth it to get something that's sort of like nice and pre-made, and also just very nice and smooth, even lighting, instead of trying to make something myself with LED strips. And the round shape is a nice contributing factor to that, instead of making like a square thing that sits around the lens itself. This is much larger and round, so it'll be nice and smooth. So, yep, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Like the actual proper end this time.